This show is part of the Miles Offside Podcast Network. Visit twitter.com/milesoffsidepod for more information. And now, on with the show.
Prick.
And fucking asshole. I am joined by my asshole co-host, Chuck Bailey, and our nicer co-host and super producer, Ian Stimpson.
Hey-o!
Ian, something's gone horribly wrong when you're being referred to as the nice one.
Yeah, definitely. And this is how we're starting the 50th episode, is it? With not a clean start?
Yeah, no, it'd be perfect. Welcome to our 50th episode, super mega spectacular!
51st.
Oh, don't do that.
Nice.
People will think there's a lost podcast.
There might be.
There is.
Yeah?
The one we recorded at that pub in Covent Garden when I was over there.
There was nothing being recorded then. That audio would not be fit for release.
Well, we made it, boys. 50 episodes. That's no joke. We also completely missed our birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or something at this point.
Whatever.
Now, we're all old enough.
Oh, man. Did you really think we'd make it this far, boys?
No.
Immediately honest.
Definitely not.
Didn't think I'd still be doing this a year fucking later. Yeah.
Well, you thought we'd have made it by now. You would have been on the podcast gravy train.
Yeah, I thought I'd be on, like, I don't know, one of those shit ITV2 shows or something.
Yeah.
Raking in that fame dollar.
Replacing James Corden on American Late Night TV.
Yeah, sure, as the resident.
Off to an early start today with the beep machine. Oh, man. Well, it is our 50th episode, and we are very, very honored to have been able to do this for so long with people actually listening to us, which is honestly very nice. So we thought we would make today's episode mostly about you, about the fans. So it's going to be a big, super, mega mailbag spectacular. We got a ton of questions over the last few days. Super producer Ian has been collecting those. But we will start, as we always do, with some rapid fire news. Our top story this evening, Gary Monk has been sacked as Birmingham city manager after only 15 months at the club.
I specifically said we weren't doing this news story. No one cares about Birmingham. Next.
Well, it'll matter when he's appointed Crystal Palace manager in a few months.
Nah, next.
Next, okay. All right, well, to keep it with the big storylines, Italian legend Andrea Pirlo sues lookalike who pretended to be him for 2 years to get free designer clothes. Chuck, what's the longest amount of time you've pretended to be a celebrity to get free clothes?
I have never done that. To be honest, if the guy does look like Pirlo, like, why is he using that to get clothes? Like, get some ladies. You don't need to be thieving.
Oh, if you look like Pirlo, I'm sure you don't have problems getting ladies.
Yeah, exactly. So just, why are you going to get caught for that? Why do you need the clothes? You've got the face and everything.
Ian, do you get free stuff for being mistaken for Phil Collins, or...?
Good. Yeah, I just walk around singing Susudio and people just throw stuff at me. Drumsticks.
Free drumsticks or...
Yeah, scalp oil.
Yeah.
Sun cream.
Do you have anyone who's like genuinely a celebrity doppelganger for you?
Kelly's cousin specifically thinks I look like James McAvoy, but only as Mr. Tumnus in the Chronicles of Narnia.
I could see that, actually.
Straight away, everyone says, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. You half goat weirdo.
Yeah, because of your goat legs. Yeah,
exactly.
Not many people know that Ian is actually
because of my
half
cloven
goat.
hooves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get the comedian Matt Ford as well.
I don't know him.
No, he's a Nottingham Forest loving political comedian.
Sounds ugly.
Wow.
Well, I'm getting it this week, aren't I? Clearly.
Yeah. Love you, Ian. Maurizio Sarri has officially left Chelsea and has been appointed as Juventus manager. Anything really to say here? I figured we have to include it because we're doing a news wrap-up and it's something we've talked about so long, so it's official. But how about you guys? What are your departing thoughts for Maurizio Sarri, since you've probably heard me talk too much about it at this point?
What was the point?
What was the point?
What was the point? That's all. If you're going to bin him after one season, which was a successful season...
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, so at the start of the year, would you have classified the Chelsea squad in the same league as the Liverpool and Man City to be genuinely competitive?
No, not at all.
Did they sign any players to make them genuinely competitive?
No, not at all.
They were runners-up to that team, won the Europa League, and got to the League Cup final where they lost to Man City, a team which you just admitted is better categorically than Chelsea.
Yeah.
It never makes sense to me when clubs, but right or wrong, whatever, it never makes sense when they bring in managers with such strong identities and ways of playing and ethoses, etc., and then just give them one season. It categorically doesn't work. So it's very, very strange.
I'd agree that it was a poor decision to appoint him in the first place because he's so set in one specific system.
Mm-hmm.
And a big club like that, it's very, very, very hard to come into a very big club and then be able to do that successfully. Most people don't make it to the point where that turns out to be successful, unless you're like Pep Guardiola. Basically, he's the only person who gets the benefit of the doubt for a long enough amount of time to transform it.
I'd say Klopp more than Guardiola. Didn't just won something with Liverpool and been there, that's his 4th season?
There were comparisons when Klopp first started with his record and Brendan Rodgers' record and stuff there, but there were noises, definitely.
Mm.
That's true. That is true. I don't know, I feel like Klopp did just enough to tick along.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sorry, but the Europa League isn't that impressive and we came in 4th barely. That's the way a Chelsea fan would summarize the season. Is okay, great. I mean, some Chelsea fans don't, but...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a bad season. We've said it before.
No, I don't think it was a bad season.
You need to take a direction, and so,
I think he was a particularly bad fit, though. He did not get along with anyone, really.
Well, I think the only way it works is if you 100% back a manager like that, in any situation, any club. If you're trying to change an ideology or have a certain specific way of playing, you have to back that person to the hilt.
Fair enough.
They didn't. They bought Jorginho, and they let him kind of loan Higuain.
Yeah. I mean, is that just it now? Chelsea are just ruled by the players, no matter what?
I mean, they always have been, since I've been around.
Certainly for a decade at least, but it just feels like, your really strong characters have gone, yet still...
I'm very, very, very curious to see what happens next year. If the Lampard thing officially goes through, which even Harry Redknapp was like, yeah, no, he's gone.
Is anyone else being talked about for that job?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
no.
Okay. I just wonder whether I'd missed anything.
I'm genuinely curious to see, because they also have cleared out a lot of the players, and now it's basically going to be the kids and Frank, and they can sort of form their own identity.
The kids and Frank. It sounds like a TV show.
All right, well, to keep going with the news, speaking of Italian people on the way out the door, Michel Platini has been, quote, questioned, although other news stories have this as arrested, over awarding the World Cup to Qatar by French anti-corruption investigators.
Corruption? FIFA? Platini? Nah.
Who'da thunk?
Surely some mistake.
From out of absolutely nowhere, suspicions about the 2022 World Cup? Nah, nothing suspicious there for me. He'll be released, that's absolutely fine.
He definitely will be released, yeah. Do we think that the answer is going to be no. Chuck's already about to cut me off before I finish the question, but is there even a turning point where there's enough arrests and corruption and bad PR for FIFA that they're like, fine, fuck it, we're taking it away from Qatar and we're just giving it to someone who's ready tomorrow?
No, because there's so much money involved.
Yeah, but that money's already changed hands.
No, not all of it. They get more. Remember we said before, they get a lot more when it actually happens.
Oh, there was something dodgy with TV companies and stuff, wasn't there?
I think so. And Qatar, the Qatari royal family said that they'll give them X amount of millions on the day that the competition starts, so that it has actually gone through almost like a bonus payment on top of everything they've already given them.
Right. Okay, so it's like a hazard contract situation.
Yeah.
Where there's it's 90 million, but with incentives it comes out to 750, and you're like, whoa, okay, what?
When Qatar win the Ballon d'Or, which could happen, I mean...
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah, who knows? If they opened up the thing and it said Qatar, be like, yeah, fair enough.
Is there not also a political game where Infantini would want to sort of tear down Platini's legacy? Platini and Blatter, and just be like, fuck them. They did this, and I'm here, and I'm going to burn it down to make them look even worse after they've already been arrested and blah, blah, blah. Just
What, and take the cup away from Qatar?
Yeah.
Well, no, what he wants to do is he, even now at this late stage, wants to make it a shared one and try to extend it. But he wants to make Qatar share it with Saudi, I think. I can't claim to be an expert in Middle Eastern politics. However, them's not friends. Them's not friends.
With anyone.
No, so it's just, it's money, innit? Money.
Well, fine. To take it to our next story, then, to switch it over to a World Cup that is bringing happiness in the world. USA. 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 Ian, how you feeling, bud?
Yeah, good.
13-0.
Pretty good. That sweepstakes looking good.
Yep. Goals from Alex Morgan in the 12th, 53rd, 74th, 81st, and 87th, as well as Lavelle in the 20th and 56th, Horan in the 32nd, Mewis in the 50th and 54th, Rapinoe in the 79th, Pugh in the 84th, and Lloyd in the 90th +2.
And that's all we've got time for. See you next week.
Playing Thailand is just the tonic you need, evidently, to get yourself going. Suspended golden boot betting, 4 USA players scoring on their debut, one of the worst goalkeeping performances I've ever seen in my life.
Genuinely horrible.
And the argument as to whether USA celebrating like mentalists going 13-0 up is disrespectful. Who knows?
But I'm sorry, if you score for your country at the World Cup...
Yep, fuck that.
That might be your one and only time that you ever get to do that. That might be the last time you get to do it, even if you're a veteran. Like, fuck that.
If the only time you can score at a World Cup is against a team like that, then chances are you probably shouldn't be at the World Cup. And that's why it's kind of like, come on now. Like, you can talk afterwards about being gracious and whatever and going up to her and, hey, keep your heads up high. That's, I don't know, that's just like flushing a kid's head down the toilet and then fist bumping him afterwards. Like, it's not, doesn't work.
I'm not about that shit. Anyone should celebrate any goal that they score as much as they possibly can to the fullest extent of fucking celebratory abilities. Like, go in hard, baby. Goals are hard to score.
What about the argument that they should have, like, after 9-0, gone a bit easy on them?
No, fuck it. You're at the World Cup.
I agree.
It's not a league game.
I don't mind, like, stopping scoring, etc., but celebrating like mentalists every single goal. Like, when you see the opposition you're against, like, it's not like it's the final. It's not, no, that's just, no.
It's Huddersfield.
Exactly.
Huddersfield.
It's like Liverpool.
Huddersfield.
They get worse celebration of the tournament.
Already.
All right, well, that does it for Rapid Fire News. So now let's get to listeners. We love the listeners. We love hearing from the listeners. So, Ian, you have compiled a massive list of questions. Take it away.
A massive list of questions. Yeah, being this was the 50th one, like Oscar's already said, we thought we'd try and get as many questions from the listeners as possible, and you did not let us down. We've got a ridiculous amount, so we're just going to go.
You did, though. You know who you are. You let us down.
Someone specific in mind there? Yeah.
They'll know.
They know who it is. I know who it is too, Chuck. I know. We're on the same page.
Good.
They should be ashamed of themselves, genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Adam's at home being like, is it me?
Yeah.
Is it me?
I sent a shitload. So our first one, though, is from a namesake of yours, Oscar. And you have been known to ask questions of your own podcast before, Oscar, so I was just wondering
me?
whether
Never. I would never.
Hashtag content generator. But this one came from Oscar Dalton.
Gentleman and a scholar. Great name.
Great name.
Great name.
And he asks, what players will be key when Eden Hazard is gone and the 2-window transfer ban is in process?
I like this guy.
Actually, I'm curious to hear your guys' perspective on this. You probably have way more opinions than you ever thought you would about Chelsea Football Club. I've talked plenty about it. What do you guys think is going to be the key for Chelsea next year?
None of them getting injured. That's a big key.
Okay.
Probably not selling Willian, because then just what is going on?
Yeah.
Who do you have? Marcus Alonso at striker.
Mm-hmm.
Actually playing Alonso as a winger, that makes sense. Just don't have anyone at left back. Have 2 left wingers. I mean, if it is Lampard, I guess maybe actually use their academy players.
How much do you think you're going to rely on Pulisic?
For me, the answer is Pulisic and Odoi and Ruben. And as of now, only one of those people will be healthy for the first half of the season. So that doesn't bode well. But if Hudson Odoi, Pulisic, and Ruben are all firing on all cylinders, I think it could be a huge year for them, growth-wise, because they're at that sort of exact inflection point where players either shoot up or they don't. And if they're good enough, like, they genuinely could take Chelsea to a similar position where they were this year, which is to say, like, fighting for fourth, if not clearly top four.
Mm-hmm. And then Frank Lampard gets fired because it's not good enough because you're Chelsea, right? Because fourth isn't good enough.
Fourth isn't good enough when you have Hazard. Fourth when you're breeding in new youngsters and you're a 2-window transfer ban.
Yeah, but you only had Hazard.
Fair enough. He's gone now.
Bye.
That's this whole question. I would say Pulisic as an American. Probably I'm a little biased in that direction, and definitely Callum and Ruben if they can get healthy.
Defensively, Rudiger really finished strongly, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean,
and if Christensen can come back in, or Kurt Zouma, who's been on loan for a few years, but I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some old names back at Chelsea from the loan army. Because Zouma had an amazing season under Mourinho.
One of 800.
Yeah. Similarly, Batshuayi could come back and be a bit... We don't have a striker. Like, Giroud is our striker for next year. We don't have anyone else. So him, or even Tammy Abraham, who I don't think they'd be inclined to do, are going to come back. Defensively, yeah, but we have Rudiger, we have Christensen, Zuma could be important, and Luiz is still around.
Okay. To move to another London club, Jason Robinson asks, who would be a better acquisition for Arsenal, Ryan Fraser or Wilfried Zaha?
Who's this Jason? Who's this guy? Is he the rugby player? Is he the England World Cup winner?
Don't think so.
Okay. In which case, fuck off, Jason. Zaha's not going to Arsenal. So...
It's fine just to say Fraser. You know, you don't have to abuse our...
Fraser... Is he... I don't know. Is he good?
I'll tell you what, Zaha playing across from Alex Iwobi would be a very good look for Arsenal.
Playing instead of Alex Iwobi, you mean?
No. Iwobi's low-key super, super good. He doesn't get the love that he deserves for reasons. I'm not entirely sure why, but statistically, he's like one of the better wide attacking players in the Premier League.
Arsenal's best midfielder in Fantasy Premier League as well.
Yeah. No, I think Kaylee and Goodman did like a whole episode about her a couple months back on...
But aren't you just the best player in whatever position at Arsenal in terms of fantasy football if you just don't get injured that season? Because they're always like dead or dying.
Dead or dying. Yeah, I'm just bringing it up that he's the best they had. And you would never own him.
No, never.
Zaha's saving himself for one more year and then he can come over to Chelsea, the good side of London.
I've always said that like the only teams he'd probably fit in with are Chelsea or Liverpool. But obviously Liverpool, like a couple of years ago before they, went to how they were, it just just kind of fits with the player. Because Man City, what's the point? He's not at the level enough where it needs to be kind of this is almost City are almost going to get to like Galactico level with just picking up these amazing, incredible players everywhere, left, right and centre. Man United, he'll never go to. Tottenham, wouldn't really make sense. So Chelsea or Liverpool, I get that.
There you go.
Go Juventus. But not Arsenal. Arsenal shit. No one likes Arsenal. They can have Ryan Fraser, the little squashed frog.
But would he be the better buy for Arsenal, though?
I mean, he's not better than Zaha, if that's basically the question. And I don't think he would fit as well as Zaha would either, so no.
There's been no real talk of Zaha going in this window, is there?
It's all Wambiz so far.
Yes, that's been the only chat.
Yeah, quite a bit of rumours and bids there, right? It looks like right now it's looking like Man United are in the lead.
Well, yeah, they're in for everyone, apparently.
That's what Sky Sports say. Isn't there a list that someone's written a list of about 80 people that Man United have been linked with since the end of the season?
Yeah.
And they've bought no one. Oh no, they bought that one fast kid from Swansea.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He'll save him.
Yeah, no. Don't get
it. Johnny OG asks, are there any players for your club or international team that everyone else thought was shit, but for some reason you quite liked? Sort of like a one-person cult following. Let's call it a following to annoy stimmers. Bleep. Doesn't annoy me. I love a bleep.
He loves a bleep.
I didn't love the episode with 27 bleeps, but I'll take the one.
Was there really 27?
Something like that.
Damn.
Well, at Chelsea, I always felt like I was defending John Obi Mikel against other Chelsea fans. I'm not entirely sure what his perception of him was outside the club, but within the club, people would get mad when he was in the lineup, and he was always accused of only passing backwards and stuff. One of the first articles I wrote back in my Chelsea Index days was like a statistical analysis of all the different types of passes that Mikel plays and how he actually is a very progressive passer compared to a lot of people. But I always felt like I was defending him, and I never felt like he got any credit for being genuinely one of the best center midfielders in the league when he was in his prime.
John Obi.
Mine would be a striker that Peterborough United had when I was about 17, called Howard Forrington. And there's only one reason for this one, and it's one of them stupid ones. But basically, I used to stand beyond the goal with my mates, and we were slagging off this striker because he was fucking useless. And I was going, basically, all that happens is we'll pump a long ball up, he runs, he doesn't even look back at where the ball is, and he just hopes it drops into his path. And as I was saying that sentence, a long ball came over, Forrington's running towards the goal, and I'm not kidding, the ball bounced off the top of his head because he wasn't even looking. The ball just bounced off the top of his head and went out for a goal kick. And I was just, it was one of them like perfect moments that I was just like, this fucking twat here does not know what he's doing. And like, as I was saying it, bounced off his head. Howard Forrington made 50 appearances for Peterborough over 3 years, injury prone. We got him for £250,000 and he only scored 10 goals in that time. Peterborough's the biggest club he played for. He ended up going to Oxford, Stevenage, Redditch United, Banbury United, ended his career at Southern United. And
almost none of those have I heard of.
So. No, exactly. It goes right down the league. But I've got his Wikipedia open here. It says,
at least he has a Wikipedia page.
He has a Wikipedia page. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
better than us.
Exactly. We don't. Yeah. But it ends with, following his departure from Woodford, Forrington returned to the playing side of the game, signing for Southern United in late 2012. He is now a PE teacher at a bad school, but he's actually all right. I like him and he has a nice beard. One of his students has edited his Wikipedia page, his last sentence.
That's so funny.
It's just, and it's all stream of consciousness. There's no punctuation. He's now a PE teacher at a bad school, but he's actually all right. I like him and he has a nice beard.
That's so good.
Amazing.
So, Howard Forrington.
Now, were the rules different back in your youth as far as like when balls were allowed to play over the head and all that? Had they fully like solidified what soccer actually was yet? Or
what it actually was. It was before the offside rule. You could just hang around the goal, do what you like.
Yeah, just stand up, having fags. I can't really think of a specific player that I really love for Palace, but someone that I've always found funny that turned out for us was Thomas Brolin, because obviously he came to England and the Premier League as being like held as potentially this big thing, and got to Leeds and then just became a big fat fucker. I've now got his Wikipedia page open and have seen that in 2007 he was voted second in a Times poll of the 50 worst players to ever play in the Premier League.
Who was one?
That's good. I don't know. Let's leave that for later. I'll do some deep dives and find some good ones there.
Right. You have to come back
the
to
reason, and I can't remember if I've said this on the pod before, but the reason I love Thomas Brolin so much is when he was at Palace, which is in '98. I was 7, and I'd started going to games. I've been going to games for a couple of years, I think, and he went off injured and had to have like his head wrapped. It was like a cut or bleeding or something like that. And he was down the far end of the pitch. So he's playing with like a big bandage on his head. And at one point he jumped up to head the ball and the bandage just flew off and went everywhere. And I turned to my sister and went, his head's exploded. And so since then, I've always liked Thomas Brolin because he had an exploding head.
All of those answers were very on brand for us.
Yep.
Very much so.
Yep.
Carmen asks, fantasy football question, how much do you think Salah will be in next year's game?
14.
14?
Sure.
You don't play really anymore, do you?
Nah. I'm going to say...
He was 13. I think he started at 13 this year.
He didn't have as good of a season, though, right? So he's going to go down.
No, he didn't have quite as good, but he still finished.
But he's still good relative to other players.
I figure they'll do him like 12 and a half.
What was he this year?
Well, the thing is as well, that I think he started at 13, but they always also like to balance it against ownership, and everyone had him towards the end of the season. So I think there's a chance of him going up, even though he had a slightly worse season points-wise. But the other thing is, if he gets reclassified as a forward, they've got to drop his price.
No, he'll stay 13.
No, it'll stay, yeah.
If he gets reclassified, he'll stay as 13, I reckon.
But they ought to drop it because he will lose clean sheet points.
I understand that, but people don't.
But if he was still a midfielder, he would have gone up in price. So effectively, by keeping him the same price and moving him, they have dropped, if you see what I mean.
I'm just thinking back to other premium forwards that there's been. Like Van Persie was 14, Kane was 12 and change.
I know. I started that season with my team name as Robin's too pricey, and then he had a fucking stormer.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think 14's the most the players ever cost, didn't they, at the start? It's got to be.
I think as far as I don't know, maybe Ronaldo might have started at 14 one year.
I didn't play back then, but was Lampard ever?
Yeah, for a little. For that, there was a specific season where Ronaldo and Lampard were sort of must own.
Yeah, Lampard would score 20 goals a season from midfield.
Mm.
He did it like almost all of the years that he was at Chelsea.
When Yaya Toure was good, he was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
In fantasy football.
Suarez took all the fun out of it that season when it was just captain every fucking...
Yeah, you
week.
could just have Suarez and Sturridge.
Yeah.
SAS, as they called it on the Fantasy Football Scoutcast, back when I really cared way too much about fantasy.
Yeah.
That's not a judgment on anyone who cares a lot about fantasy. I meant too much relative to myself.
Yeah.
Because all it did was make me miserable, and I am so much of a happier human being.
You're not planning on playing next season?
I'm going to play, but I'm going to pay as little attention as I did this year.
Yeah.
I hope we can still get a draft league going, because that I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah. But you don't like the FPL format, do you?
Nah. The price, there's just not enough nuance in the scoring of points.
Yeah, there isn't. And I mean, people have been clamouring for ages for like a defensive midfielder position or something, because there's just that whole swathe of players that just you can't own because it's just pointless.
Yeah,
but how does that work then? I don't get how that would work.
I don't know. You'd have to put some sort of tackles points in or something.
It basically turns into how you score Fantrax or the bonus point system. If you just made the bonus point system the actual scoring system, I would be all in.
Mm.
I know that's an uncontroversial opinion, or that's an unpopular take / controversial opinion. But they could tweak it a little bit, but at least that gives value to defenders, to defensive mids, to creative mids, even if they're not always assisting.
Yeah, and you get like a 500-point game week.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'd still only get like 12.
You did all right this year, didn't you? Beat me?
Yeah. But they've deleted it all now, so there's never going to be any record of it until the game starts again.
Was I like 500 points off you guys this year? I paid attention when I heard the word double game week in our chat, and then was like, nah.
No, I was probably somewhere around where you were, Oscar. I mean, just worst season since I've been playing seriously. Just terrible.
Yeah. I know I broke 2,000 because I've never the last time I didn't break 2,000 was like my first season ever.
Yeah. Carmen also asks, which football player has the worst car? Now, I did a little bit of research here because we have.
I bet I know the answer here.
Well, there's no definitive answer. I mean, but we've talked footballers' cars before, so I just thought I'd pull up some reminders of some real terrible ones.
Yep.
Stephen Ireland used to drive around in some hideous black Range Rover with pink trim, like pink alloys, pink lighting trim and everything. That looks fucking awful. He wasn't even a good enough footballer to warrant having some sort of crazy car.
There is a base level of quality required to be a complete douchebag and people to be like, yeah, you know what? Fine.
Yeah, Stephen Ireland wasn't there.
Yeah. Was not. No.
I mean, that is a shocker if you see that. El Hadj Diouf had a gold wrapped
he did.
Escalade. Fuck me, it looks like a little Matchbox car. It's not. It's because obviously I'm looking at a photo, but like fucking hell, it's just horrible. That is grim. Obviously, we've spoken about Balotelli's camouflage Bentley before.
The camouflage Bentley? I thought it was the camouflage Lambo.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It's a Bentley.
Oh.
Unless he had two.
That is worse. That makes it so much worse.
That is worse.
A Lamborghini can be camouflage or hot pink, or one time I saw a Lamborghini painted like a slice of pizza. Like, that's fun. It had like pepperonis all over it and stuff. It was really funny, actually. Because it's a Lambo anyway, like it's already tacky to begin with, and I love a Lamborghini. Don't get me wrong, but they're inherently tacky.
Oh, yeah.
But a Bentley's like classy. When you're putting camouflage on a Bentley, you're just like,
yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah.
It's so perverse.
This is good. David James, they had a car at Portsmouth that was like a 3-wheeled Robin Reliant, and you had to drive it when you were the worst in training. And apparently David James just had it pretty much every week.
That's really funny.
So yeah, every week he has to turn up in this shitty blue Robin Reliant. Your podcast, the Nerdy Nerd Chronicles, tweeted us. So I don't know whether that was you or
that was me.
Dr. M.
I forgot which account I was logged into. I'm logged into like 3 accounts on my Twitter app, and I just accidentally comment as one or the other all the time.
Your one, your podcast one, and then another one you use to troll celebrities and stuff, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, you asked, so I'm always keen to hear about your competitive eating, but if you had to eat 15 pounds of any one food in one sitting, what would you choose?
Yeah, now just to clarify, because it didn't fit in a tweet, you can stand up and walk around, but you have a 5-minute timer between bites. But other than that, you can take 3 days and just eat very, very slowly.
Okay.
That's fine, but you have to finish all 15 pounds.
Okay, and it has to be one item.
One food, but they can bring it out fresh. Like, you don't have to get like a 15-pound mountain of chicken nuggets, and then 2 days later they're cold and disgusting. You can get like fresh chicken nuggets every few minutes.
I get that, but what I mean is one specific item, not like a meal or a cuisine or like it has to be
one item. Yeah, so like a pizza, a chicken nugget,
Could you have like a meal that's sort of like homogenous, like spaghetti bolognese or something?
Yes, but it can't be something that can be like you can't have steak and potatoes.
Yeah. Okay.
But if it's all like assembled as one bite of food, one thing that you eat,
can have it if you can have everything in one bite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Chuck's already like, well, can I blend something and then just drink a shake?
No, because I've learned from you that's not a good idea. But you can win competitions. Nice chicken wings. Some like different sauces, or because it triggered when you said nuggets, and I thought I could probably do 15 pounds of nuggets.
Nuggets is a good, it's like a, if you're unsure what to do, like give it a go on the nuggets, and I think a lot of people could do a lot of damage that way.
Yeah, as long as you can get an array of sauces as well. As long as you've got
sure, yeah, you can do ketchup and whatever else you want.
Okay, that does mix it up flavour-wise, at least, I suppose.
Exactly, keep you on your toes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realise there were sort of these rules, and I might be eating this thing for 3 days or whatever. But I didn't know which way to go with it. I didn't know whether.
Well, it's the 15 pounds. If you want to eat it in 1 hour, you can. If you can.
It wouldn't take 3 days to eat 15 pounds of food.
No, I think he was just giving you an example of what the rules are. But I don't know. I didn't know whether to go for something like not dense, like prawn crackers or something, and eat a shitload of them. Now I've got this sort of like extended time thing. I think that might be the way to go. I could just munch on prawn crackers for weeks.
That absorbs a lot in your stomach. Like, you can't eat. Have you ever tried eating like more as much bread as you can until you can't eat any more bread? Probably not a thing that people do as I say it out loud.
No. And 15 pounds of food is 15 pounds of food, Ian.
I know, yeah.
Doesn't matter how dense it is.
I understand.
No. I'm with Ian on this, because 15 pounds of bread would be much harder than 15 pounds of chicken.
Not if you're going to do it in a week.
Well, you have 5 minutes between bites, so you basically have to keep eating steadily. Like, you can take a little break, but if it's been 5.5 minutes, you're like, okay, no, you just aren't eating anymore. Right? You have to put some sort of timer on it.
And you'd have to be eating on the toilet, presumably, if you were doing that.
Sure, if you're planning on stringing it along as much as possible.
Mm.
But not all 15 pounds go down the same. I worry for you, Ian, with the crackers. Any sort of bread, anything that is like very absorbent, then would expand a lot.
It doesn't feel but like this is like you know what I mean by like a sort of greasy but aerated crisp thing. Like they're not sort of doughy, or I don't know. It's just
maybe I don't know what you're talking about then.
Yeah,
I'm picturing like saltine crackers.
I don't know what they are.
I think because I have this every Sunday at work when they cook the joints of beef, because it's amazing, and they cook it in a rotisserie so that it stays like super juicy, and then when you cut into it, it's and that's about 3 kilos. And I think I could every week. I'm like, I think I can do that.
Okay, so do you guys want to know the like experienced I've tried eating food until I'm sick many, many times answer?
Okay.
Yes.
It's fruit. Fruit would be horrible, but you can just keep taking it down and it runs right through you, so you wouldn't have any problems with the actual storage. I'm telling you, man, like, I'm pretty sure I've eaten like multiple pounds of strawberries on different occasions by accident. Like, just like cut myself a mountain of strawberries in a big ass bowl, like the big mixing bowls that people do for baking. Just fill it with strawberries and then just sit there and eat them.
That doesn't really sound like you've accidentally done it as well. That sounds like you've gone out and bought a shitload of strawberries.
You've prepared them.
Cut the shitload of strawberries and put them in the biggest vessel you could find with the full intent of engorging yourself.
Man, I hate it when I trip and that happens.
Oh,
So
all these, and they've all been perfectly hulled and everything. No, but we're not talking about what can most efficiently get through you. We're talking about
$150,000. That's the thing you could eat 15 pounds of very easily.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't actually say that. Yeah, you did put a monetary element in there.
Huh?
I didn't say that when I did the question. Oscar's offering £100,000 or whatever to if you can do this, but I mean, I don't think that
it's added incentive to not quit.
When I read the question, I was like, none of us need incentives to be competitively eating. I mean, like, this is not a
it does
problem.
make you want to actually get through it. In which case, you do want to be like strategic as opposed to being like, oh, I wouldn't hate that so much.
Right.
One time I ate 5 pounds of shrimp by accident.
Again,
5 pounds.
So I'm wondering, no, that was genuinely an accident. Okay, I was an idiot teenager, as idiot teenagers do, so they don't know anything about anything. But I came home, I hadn't eaten all day. I was like genuinely skipped breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was starving. And I got home and there was a bag of shrimp in the fridge that I guess my mom had gotten for like a party or something. And so I was like, sweet, I'm going to have some shrimp. So I just cooked it. And then I ate it, and it seemed like a reasonable amount of shrimp to me at the time. And then the next day... My mom was like, what the fuck? Did you eat 5 pounds of shrimp last night?
I've got a slight problem with that in that the quantity is ridiculous. I mean, genuinely...
To not notice that it was 5 pounds.
Yeah, that quantity is ridiculous. 2, I don't eat seafood I've found.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was like in the fridge at home packaged.
No one accidentally opens a fridge, accidentally finds some shrimp, accidentally puts a pot on a stove and accidentally fills it with boiling water and cooks it and then accidentally eats it. That's not a thing.
It was, for the record, fried with garlic butter.
Oh my God.
And some like pepper seasoning.
Oh, how are you still alive?
Lots of exercise and a predisposition to a healthy heart for no reason at all.
Is that what you do? You exercise to offset this sort of...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like this morning I ran 5 miles just so I could have a bigger breakfast.
Because I, through, total accident, found myself in the gym the other day, and I was on a rowing machine and did 400...
Oh, you were on a machine this time at the gym?
Yeah, I actually went in.
Last time you were just like hanging out.
Yeah, I was just in the bar.
You do some crazy things by accident.
Yeah, I know.
Most people, it's like fall down a well. For you, Ian, it's accidentally subscribing to a gym and accidentally going in there, getting changed, and accidentally sitting on a rowing machine.
I don't subscribe. My wife and son do, and then I go along when they get a free...
Who you accidentally married.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she definitely accidentally married me. And I go when there's like a free pass or they're trying to get people to sign up to the gym. So I had to sort of put up with a few minutes of them talking at me about the gym and then just said, yeah, I don't have time, see you later, and just sort of walked through. Went on the rowing machine, and then while Finley and Kelly were doing this like circuits class thing and I'm watching them while I'm on the rowing machine, I did 400 calories, and all the time I'm just thinking, well, that's like 3 beers. Like, I'm buying myself... drink or food
absolutely. That's
while
the
I'm on the
only
machine.
reason I exercise. Yeah. That's the correct way of thinking about it.
Good. Okay.
Don't get in shape. Eat so that you can, or work out enough so that you can eat without 9 times the amount of guilt.
Right, talking of food then, let's stay on a food theme, because brilliantly our listeners know us and there's plenty of food questions.
And we're hungry.
Yeah, always hungry. So
you're still on a diet, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got used to the low level. I mean, I'm having beers tonight because I always have beers with the podcast. That's sort of a rule. But, yeah, I've just got used to that sort of low level of hunger now.
Low level of life enjoyment.
Yeah, that too. But still, hopefully I'll be able to see my dick soon. So,
someone should.
That'd be a win.
You got visitation rights?
Jesus Christ. Dave Matteo asks, what's the best meat for a roast?
Oscar, have you ever had a roast?
Is that just when you cook stuff on a stick on a fire?
No, we mean like a proper, like a roast dinner.
Oh, Emily had it while we were over there, but I had no interest really, so I just had like regular pub food. But she did like the full English Sunday roast or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. So the roast potatoes, gravy, roasted meats.
Yeah, all the like really bland crap.
No,
that
fuck
you
off.
guys eat.
Fuck off with that. No, a good roast is.
Tell me about
brilliant.
a good roast.
It's very easy to do a roast badly and it be bland and terrible, but a good roast is just.
We had, or she had, I should say, a roast at a pub where Dickens used to get drunk all the time, which is to say any pub more than 150 years old in London.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But then in central London, you're going to get like you're not going to get like proper roasts because you need to go to like a little shitty village in the middle of nowhere.
This was on the South Bank near the bridge.
Yeah, see, that's going to be no good. No good.
Yeah,
It'll be a
I'm sure
fucking Doggett's pub or something, wouldn't it?
Dog shit coat and badge. Oh, fucking hell. Awful. Yeah. Go there all the time. No, you need to when you cook all the meat and you roast it, then you take the juices and then you like roast the potatoes in it with the beef dripping and
and homemade gravy as well. That's essential.
Yeah, and proper gravy. But the thing that everyone has is that every roast dinner is different. So what I would have on a roast dinner traditionally, because of my hat, like wouldn't be the same as Ian. Like personally, not a huge roast potato fan. Not a huge. So like mashed potato with my roast.
I do like mash as well.
This kind of sounds like a Thanksgiving dinner situation where like every family does slightly different, and then you show up to some other families and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. Like what Chuck said is absolutely right. You could go round a mate's house and for a roast dinner or whatever and be like, this is not how I do things.
Friendships can be broken. Like, it just couldn't work. Because if you turn up, because your idea of what a roast is what your mum or your nan or whoever did. Like, for me, always have cauliflower cheese. Would always have Yorkshire puddings.
Always have Yorkshire puddings.
Predominantly would have roast chicken, but I really like lamb. But my mum doesn't cook lamb because the smell makes her feel sick. It's the whole thing.
And the ceremonial bowl of Twix at the Bailey.
Yes, we always break Twix at the start.
Say grace.
Yeah. Say thank you to the Twix forefathers.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, O Lord, for our daily Twix, and forgive us this Twix as we have twixed those who twixed against you.
Fucking prick.
Oh, dear. I'm a big fan of pork in a roast dinner. I love roast pork and a bit of crackling.
If it's good, it's so hard though because pork goes dry so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you just buy a proper fatty bit and cook it forever, like at a low temperature, you're laughing. I absolutely love it. Speaking of this sort of food thing, I tweeted this from the podcast account about this YouGov survey of British foods, and like they've sort of tiered them as God tier, which 80%, more than 80% of British people would say were good. Top tier, mid tier, low tier, crap tier. And Oscar, you said something like you'd tried. I mean, there's maybe 20 foods here.
I probably tried like 5. I think I said something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So the top tier, God tier, it says, is Yorkshire pudding.
Nope.
I suppose if you wouldn't have a roast, you wouldn't have had it.
Maybe I don't remember.
I think Yorkshire puddings can be like overrated. People go mad about
What is the Yorkshire pudding? Maybe I've had it and I just don't remember the name.
It's essentially like a pancake batter.
Savoury pancake.
Yeah, but that's been sort of put in a hot oil sort of muffin tray usually and then cooked really hot so as it sort of puffs up.
Mm-hmm.
I may have had that here, but obviously it wouldn't have been like legit. Or maybe it wasn't. I can't comment to it, but that does sound familiar actually. Is it really chewy?
No, that's the thing, like Ian said, like a lot of Yorkshire puddings, it's to get a Yorkshire pudding like spot on is like a beautiful thing, but there's just so much range because it's like anything when you're baking on a really simple level, which is what it is because it's pancake batter. There's a wide range of pancakes you can eat where it's just like, yeah, that's all right, that's all right, that's all right, yeah, it's okay, yeah, that's quite good, and then bang, amazing. That's what Yorkshire pudding's like, and it's got to be crispy.
I'm going to say no because I can't remember if I did or didn't, so that doesn't count anyway.
Fair enough. And the other thing is as well, I think it's only good as a component of a really good roast dinner. Like, so if someone can do a really good roast dinner, they can probably do really good Yorkshires or vice versa.
Yeah, probably.
So it's a component thing, isn't it?
Fair warning, there's a decent chance that I ate a lot more of these. I just am shit at names. Like, I can't remember the names of anything, so I'm like, I don't know.
I only had 10 pounds of that.
What's a pomegranate? I can't remember.
I could probably do 15 pounds of Yorkshire pudding.
Oof, if it's a bread cake-like thing, you're gonna die.
Okay. Okay. So the next one in the God tier is Sunday roast, which we've already talked about. Then fish and chips. You must have had fish and chips, surely.
Mm-hmm.
That's not God tier.
No, I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan. Was not a fan of fish and chips.
Fair enough.
Not a huge fan of seafood, though, other than shrimp.
Yeah. We got that.
Up there apparently is crumpets. I think that's misplaced.
What, in God tier?
Yeah, crumpets.
What's crumpets? Is that like cookies?
Oh, Oh, here we go. So, like a again.
See,
a
this is going to
bready
take 9 hours long if we go through these.
A crumpet is a thing with holes in that is like bread, but not bread, and you put butter on it.
You put it in the toaster. When it gets hot enough, then you butter it. All the butter melts through it, and it's
into the
it's
holes.
Nice.
But if you've got that phobia where you don't like holes in stuff, then you probably can't eat it.
Again, I don't. Yeah, you could go through your life without crumpet. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next one's full English breakfast. We know you've had that.
Touch myself thinking about a full English.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, you do.
And the last one is its slightly lesser cousin, but still good. The bacon sandwich.
So is that just like egg and cheese and bacon, or just egg and bacon, or just?
What do you mean
bacon?
egg and cheese? What do you mean egg and cheese?
Yeah, forget the egg and cheese.
It's bread, butter, ketchup or brown sauce,
That's the important bit.
bacon.
That's the divider.
No,
That's it. That's a bacon sandwich.
I've never had that.
It's like a breakfast staple here.
It's the saviour of the hangover. It's the rejuvenator. It brings you back from the bowels of existence.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like a grilled cheese, except instead of grilled cheese, you're getting a bacon.
Just bacon.
And we have better bacon than you, so...
Oh, that's right. No, I hate your bacon.
No.
Oh, that does make sense that you have a sandwich with just that in it. Yeah, English bacon is very different.
Yeah, it's way better.
Nah. It's just ham, innit?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
Smoked bacon is
It's
the
not
best.
ham. It's not Canadian bacon. It's not gammon. It's bacon. Proper bacon.
Okay.
Num, num, num.
Right, tier under that. So this is, they're calling top tier. Over 70% of people like these foods. Bangers and mash.
Yep. Many
Yeah,
times.
Yes.
you've had that. I mean, good sausages, good mash. Fine, lovely.
Toad in the hole. Ooh.
Yeah, well, combining the Yorkshire pudding and the sausage, yeah. Synergy.
Synergy.
And then cottage pie and shepherd's pie.
Had shepherd's pie. What's in a cottage pie?
Cottage pie is the same as shepherd's pie, but beef.
Both
Probably
not
had
pies.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, both not pies, yeah.
Everyone who calls a shepherd's pie with beef needs to be punched through the face.
Okay.
Okay. Right, now we're on to mid-tier ones, so things might get controversial, and we'll see what you've had.
It already is. Cottage pie and shepherd's pie are not...
Yeah, I agree. They're not top tier either, yeah. But mid-tier, toad in the hole, as you've just mentioned.
Who in the what?
How does that work?
So, yeah, that's mental. Yeah, you can't have bangers and mash top tier, Yorkshire pudding god tier, and then have toad in the hole below them. That's ridiculous.
When you combine the two, that's not how it works.
Toad in the... Right, I can see Oscar's confusion. Toad in the hole
It's just a very ridiculous name. Y'all have
Yeah.
some fucking ridiculous names for things sometimes. Like, what were sprinkles called? Thousands and millions?
hundreds and thousands.
Hundreds and thousands. Stupidest name of anything I've ever heard.
Come on, that's quaint.
I'm obsessed with it. It's so funny, but it's so stupid. You have to know it's so stupid.
Yeah, I think we do.
It's very quaint.
It sounds very Harry Potter, actually.
Yeah.
And now the names in Harry Potter are making a little more sense. Toad in the hole, hundreds and thousands. Oh. There's something on this called Bubble and Squeak, which I have no idea what it is, and I don't want you to ever tell me. Don't ever tell me what a Bubble and Squeak is, because it sounds very dirty.
We'll get
very
to it.
funny.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So, yeah, so toad in the hole is just sausages cooked in a Yorkshire pudding batter, so the Yorkshire pudding rises around the sausages. It's good.
Sounds delicious. Sign me up.
It is. It's amazing.
Nothing not to like there. Then cauliflower cheese. That's in that tier. I mean...
That's God tier.
Is that just cauliflower and cheese, or?
Yeah, so it's like a cheese sauce.
Okay.
You cook the cauliflower... You oven bake it in a cheese sauce with cheese on top.
We do that with broccoli a lot more over here than cauliflower, but you can get both.
Broccoli? Oh,
Yeah,
right,
broccoli
okay.
cheese sometimes. Put bacon on the top. Num num.
Broccoli cheese is delicious.
Nice. Cornish pasty.
Nope.
No. Cornish pasty. So that is meat and potato and maybe carrot and peas.
And Swede.
Oh, I have had that.
Wrapped in a pastry sort of
Yeah,
semicircle.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
That's fine. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's the correct reaction. It's just
Yeah.
fine. Pie and mash. I mean, obviously,
Love a pie and mash.
similar to sausage and mash. Depends on the pie.
If I'm in London, I'm eating pie.
Yeah, you love a pie, don't you?
Specifically at Battersea in Covent Garden, if I can get there. If it's not too far out of the way.
Yeah. Savoury pies Americans don't do savoury pies.
No, it's the best thing about London food. Like, it's the thing I can't get over here that I want the most. Other than a full English, but like, if you're just in London for the day, then...
Like a meat pie.
Yeah, oh yeah, meat pie. Good meat pie.
Yeah. Chicken tikka masala comes up next.
No, thank you.
Nah, you hate curry, though.
Yeah, I hate curry.
I'm not bothered about tikka masala.
Not a tikka masala, but curry.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I love curry, but not that can go and eat a bag of dicks. I'm not really bothered about that.
All the dicks.
Ploughman's lunch.
I don't know what it is. I don't think I want to try it, probably. Or maybe I do,
I
I
wouldn't
don't
really
know.
say that's like an amazing thing. I mean, it's just like
No.
bread, cheese, pickle, and apple on a plate.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever ordered one.
No.
Y'all's food names are not at all descriptive.
Well, I mean, it's what a ploughman would eat for lunch.
Okay, so a ploughman's lunch is like, yeah, it literally is a plate of, and it can differ totally depending on which pub you're in, but it will be like maybe a bit of ham, a couple of 2 or 3 cheeses maybe, some bread, some chutney. I don't think I've ever ordered one.
No.
Because there's always better food.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. It's also cold, apparently.
Yeah,
according to Wikipedia.
it's a cold
So
platter.
it's basically like a cheese and pickle or a cheese, ham, and pickle sandwich, but they just haven't bothered to put any of it together.
Yeah, it's like someone made you lunch an hour ago and then just let it sit out.
But you said that sounds horrible. What sounds horrible about that? There's cheeses, there's bread,
It's just like old.
ham. It's not old. Get that out of your head. It's not
I
old.
don't understand when it's old. We don't just leave the food out. It didn't start off as milk.
Yeah, it's not been sat out.
It's
It's not been
fresh.
sat out on the counter for a week.
Ploughman's lunch. Let me read the Wikipedia on it. An English
Okay, don't
cold
listen
meal
to
of
us
bread,
then.
cheese, and onions, usually accompanied by butter and pickles. All right, I'd eat that.
Oh,
It took you to get an internet definition.
Yeah, all right. Oh, a hard-boiled egg or apple can be added as well.
sometimes.
Yeah, I'd eat it. I mean, it doesn't sound very exciting, but
No, that's exactly the point.
I realise now I'm getting over emotional about it, but
I'm sensing a theme here, which is English food. Sure, I'd eat it.
yeah, well, we know that, don't we?
I mean, food. Sure, you'd eat it.
There's some foods I'd really like to eat. And there's some foods that I'm like, yeah, I guess.
And then there's some foods you accidentally eat 5 pounds of.
Yeah, shrimp. Garlic shrimp.
Next on this mid-tier, last in this mid-tier is Welsh rarebit. I don't really know what that is.
It's cheese on toast, isn't it?
That's like, there's cheese and bread involved.
Cheese on toast.
Oh, it's a misspelling of Welsh rabbit. And it's made of a savory sauce, melted cheese, and various other ingredients served hot. Why rabbit, though? There's no rabbit in it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Welsh people. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, we're getting into low tier now, but there's a couple here that I think should be much higher. But anyway, we'll get to Bubble and Squeak. So,
what is it?
Bubble and Squeak is basically like leftover vegetables
Nope.
from maybe your Sunday roast.
I'm out.
Now, these ones have been sat out all fucking night.
Matured.
Yeah, but this will be like leftover vegetables, like I say, probably from your roast or whatever, compressed often and then like with potato specifically and then fried.
Yeah.
And it's like a way to use up your leftover vegetables, so you get like a sort of rosty sort of thing going on.
Yeah, almost like a fritter, rusty
Yeah.
hash. It's kind
So
of
then
like
you
a hash.
fry that up. I mean, and that is good.
That sounds fine. Although it's vegetables, so...
Yeah. Next one's beef Wellington.
How is that? What?
think
Yeah.
I've had that.
How is that so low down?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's,
Some of this feels like it should be flipped round.
Is beef Wellington a type of stew, or is it just like a
No.
cut of beef?
no. Beef Wellington, you take a fillet,
Fillet, specifically.
specifically a fillet steak, maybe even like a Chateaubriand or something, but if
Yeah,
you're doing like
if you're
a
cooking this
massive
for
one.
8 people, it's going to cost you 120 quid.
Yeah, it's a big fucker.
Yeah.
You then have inside you have a duxelle, which is like a mushroom based sauce around the steak. You then cover that in puff pastry and cook that, and then you serve it with one of Ian's amazing steak sauces.
Port and Stilton sauce.
Heavy
Yeah.
cream.
How do you?
2 cartons of heavy cream.
Yeah, you could do whatever. How are you pulling a disgusting face? It's
I'm
fillet
just
steak
looking at the
in a
pictures of
pie.
it. It looks gross.
It's fillet steak in a pie.
Well, I also hate mushrooms too, so
Oh, I don't like mushrooms. You can fuck off the mushrooms. I mean, you can do something else, but
Give it to me in like a gravy, I'd be more interested.
It's just like, then it's just a giant Ginsters, really, isn't it?
Yes,
again,
sure.
I'm in. Okay, next thing I hope you're going to revolt as well at this one. Scotch egg.
Love a Scotch egg.
I mean, Scotch egg is way
Love a
better
Scotch
than
egg.
this low down. Scotch egg is brilliant.
Yeah. Why is that so low? I don't understand.
Because people buy their Scotch eggs from fucking shitty shops.
Well, plus it's Scottish, so if it's English people voting, xenophobia
I don't think
and all
it's
that.
actually Scotch. Well, I presume it must be Scotch, but yeah, I don't know. Next up is Lancashire Hot Pot.
Again, the least descriptive name. No idea what's in that.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound like I want
it's
it.
a stew topped with slices of potato.
Oh, I hate stew. It's just wet food. Just give me food. I don't need it sitting in a bath of like warm water. I hate soup. I hate stew. Fuck out of here.
Okay, we're learning.
Okay.
Pork pie.
Is that just a meat pie with pork in it?
So, Chuck, do you want to take this one?
Specifically made from the town of Melton Mowbray.
Yeah.
It's a type of pastry which doesn't... I can't remember exactly. It doesn't rise. It's made in a very specific way.
Yeah.
And it's just a big lump of pork which is covered with gelatin.
Yeah, like literally you have sort of jelly in between the very dense pastry and the very dense slab of weird processed meat.
And it says it's served cold.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of cold food.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out on cold meat pie.
Again, it's come out of the fridge. It's not just been sat on a counter for a little while. But yeah, fair enough.
I generally don't like cold food. Like,
yeah, okay.
I'll eat it if I have to, but give me a real fucking food. Like, give me hot food.
Next one is steak and kidney pie.
Have had that, it's fine.
Are you alright with kidneys? I don't do liver and kidneys. Ugh.
If it's cooked in with other stuff like that, I wouldn't not eat it.
I'm less with liver, but I'm alright with steak and kidney pie.
Okay. Right, and now we're into what they've called the crap tier, which is less than 50% of people like it.
Is there a very high chance, Ian, that you and I are going to love pretty much all of these items?
My money is on Chuck liking more than half. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll see. I bet Chuck okay, Ian, here's an over-under. Do you know how over-unders work? Do you have those over there? 3.5 likes from Chuck on this category.
Okay, so there's 8 things in this category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you have more information than me because you know what types of things are good or not, but
Yeah,
I still
true.
think it's going to be over.
Yeah, but I'm also basically a human bin.
Over. I'll go over 3.5.
All right, I'll take the under then. That's fine.
Okay, Chuck. So, first one is steak and kidney pudding.
Oh, it's basically the same thing. Like, I'm
It's
down
the
with
same
that.
thing, isn't it? It's just whether you like suet pastry or not. So,
Oh, yeah, I love a bit of suet.
yeah, lovely old job.
So that's a like on that one?
That's
Yes,
a like.
that's a tick.
I've never had that.
Second one, I already know the answer to this. Black pudding.
You fucking kidding? Why is... That's God. That's
Yeah.
the That's the pinnacle. That's sausage enhanced with, like, rage. And, like, the essence of an animal's life and existence.
Yeah. I mean, that is very much people either love it or hate it, but people who hate it are wrong.
I'm guessing by Oscar's thumbs down, not a fan.
Well, here we go.
Too aggressive thumbs down.
What's wrong with black pudding?
The mealiness, the texture. Just can't get behind it.
Texture.
Same reason I hate pears.
Pears?
Yeah, pears
Yeah,
have a
I hate
strange
pears.
texture. They're different to, like, any other fruit.
Pears are apples that got left out for an hour. They're very mealy apples.
I don't know. I haven't eaten fruit
Almost
since 1988.
fibrous.
I aggressively dislike pears because of the texture, and I aggressively disliked black pudding because of the texture. It's too mealy.
Oh, man, I love it.
So I'm 2 for 2 so far. Fuck.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
I've had a Scotch egg where the sausage meat was black pudding,
Oh, that sounds good.
but it wasn't like a super. It was kind of a combination black pudding and sausage, so it wasn't quite as strong. But
That sounds
The
good.
first time I had a Scotch egg was at a pub about a foot away from a tree where the original Queen Elizabeth had had a dance with some guy.
You love your history, don't you? When
The
you
historical
go around.
pubs over there are so cool for Americans. I don't think you guys really appreciate,
Yeah, you're right. We don't
we have
appreciate it.
nothing old.
yeah, that's true.
Nothing.
I know someone who had a friend who used to do tours of Oxford University, and when they were going round, and they would get a lot of American tourists and wouldn't quite grasp the concept of everything. And they were like, you see this door handle? This door handle is older than your country. This is how fucking old this place is.
Yeah.
But I love it when you're sort of walking past a building, it's like 500 years old, and like the bottom floor is a Nando's.
That was my favorite thing about Edinburgh, which is like a cooler city than 99.9% of places I've ever been, is that it's just these like super old buildings, beautiful buildings. The whole city is just like the inner city, the old mile or whatever, the Royal Mile is like really, really, really well preserved. So there's just like a Pizza Hut from like this beautiful ancient building. Like,
yeah. I mean, we have a shitty chain of pubs called Wetherspoons in this country, and yet they're always in lovely buildings. And you can go in a lovely building and get really cheap booze and food.
Nice.
And it's just like, and there'll be some people in there who you would never want to have a conversation with, but you're going to because you're in there. And it's just
the Drinking Society.
And yeah. But they're always in lovely buildings, Wetherspoons. They're never in a modern building. They seem.
I found that to be the case with Boots as well. The pharmacy or whatever. What do you guys? Drugstore, right? Is that what you call it?
The chemist.
Chemist. There.
Chemist, pharmacy. Yeah.
Love a Boots. It's as good as anyone's that we have over here. Better than CVS. Fuck CVS. Walgreens gang, ride or die.
How can you have such strong opinions on fucking chemists?
I have to have an enemy in every category and a team that I root for in every category. That's just life.
Okay. Fuck you, Superdrug.
Yeah. No, I'm Team Boots. Team Boots all the way. Let's go. Boots gang. Hashtag 2020 Boots. Bizarre.
Right, so, Chuck, you are, as you say, 2 for 2. Next one. Kippers.
No. Don't like seafood. Not oily fish. No, that's kippers.
Sounds gross. I had never heard of it. Don't want it. I'm with Chuck.
Kippers, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. Nah, none
it's
of
a
that.
smoked fish. It's a smoked fish that you have for breakfast.
No, none of those things go together.
No, you don't. It goes in a bin.
Yeah.
It's too bony as well. There's always bones.
Bony? Who eats fish? Well, whatever. No.
Yeah, no. To be honest, no one eats kippers. It won't be a thing in 30 years. Right. Liver and onions.
Sounds gross.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Liver.
Yep.
Every thumbs down is a win for me.
Halfway there. 2 from 4.
So.
This one's going to be an up.
Haggis.
Watch.
Ah, yeah.
If he likes black pudding.
Nom.
I've never had haggis.
Isn't that the one that's just testicles?
No.
It's whatever you want, really, in a sheep's stomach.
I said no, but I mean maybe. It's just sort of offal and, probably glands.
Haggis is well known here as the thing you should never eat if you're in the UK.
Nah, that's bollocks.
Oh, I'm just telling you, it has a reputation here of
literally, it's bollocks. No, that's what's in it, you said before.
It is, okay.
I haven't had it, but I would have it. It's just because of how it's prepared, and it's sort of boiled in a sheep's stomach or whatever, so...
Yeah. Sounds gross.
Yeah, well, I know it sounds like that, but, black pudding's great, so I imagine haggis would be. I just have never had it. Next one. Faggots.
There was this one time in college, but...
that makes me laugh because I was looking through my phone the other day and I remembered when I was going around the supermarket and just kept sending Oscar pictures of the packet of Mr. Brain's faggots.
Yep. Not a good word. Over there, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
What is this one?
It's a very old food over here that's meatballs made from minced offcuts and offal. So your pig's heart, liver, fatty meat, bacon, all with herbs and flavouring. It's a meatball. It's a meatball, but of the maybe offcuts.
Proper dog shit. I love it.
I'll have it, yeah. Wait, is that 4 now? That was 4.
That is 4.
That's 4 from 6.
Okay, well, we'll finish off last 2. I don't know what this one is. You might know. Lava bread. It looks like a cracker.
It's not.
On this picture, no?
It's made from, seaweed.
Oh.
Yes, very good, Chuck, yes.
Thank you.
Lava bread is a food product made from an edible seaweed. Already, 3 words into this description. Yeah. Lava bread is a food product made from an edible seaweed, consumed mainly in Wales as part of a local traditional cuisine.
Not bothered about that. Never had it, yeah. And the last one is jellied eels.
No.
Sounds gross.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean, I have not had them, but they look grim. That's another food that in 30 years won't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was 4 out of 8 for Chuck. And I didn't keep count of how many I knew or had eaten.
I'm halfway
No,
there.
well, we did that as we went, pretty much. But it was basically all the things with meat and pastry you'd eaten.
Yep. And if you were keeping count, just send a message over to Dave Mateo. That's at Dave _.
So there we go. Right, we've established that you don't like cold food.
Nope. Don't like cold food. Don't like mealy food.
At least you didn't enter an eating competition where you had to eat cold food.
See, ice cream is different because ice cream's supposed to be cold. I guess you would say then these are all also supposed to be cold. That's how they're made. Still weird.
Okay, right. Let's go on to. We'll keep it savoury. Sam Danby, what's your go-to Nando's order?
Everything.
Are you a frequenter of Nando's?
I haven't been for quite a long time. I used to go. I think I once had Nando's 8 times in a week. 7.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, there were a few days where I had it twice a day. I used to have a stamp for the card scam. So I used to get a free whole chicken.
Brilliant.
That was good. Always extra hot. Always. Maybe some wings. But they just started doing these boneless chicken thighs, and they're pretty fucking good.
Never had Nando's.
No, I think I've been to Nando's once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
I don't like curry, so it's obviously out for me. Otherwise, I definitely would have. Like, it's enough of a thing
Hang on.
that I would have tried it. But
Whoa. It's not curry.
It's not curry at all.
it's not.
No.
What
It's
the fuck is
it's
it?
It's a Portuguese chicken place.
It's South African. But
Is it?
yeah, it started in South Africa. But there's like a link with
Wait, I thought it
Portugal
was
and that.
curry. This
No,
whole
no,
time.
no.
It's piri chicken. It's like a chili chicken place.
It's spicy though, right?
Well, it is if you order the extra hot like Chuck does, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I need to go back to London then.
Yeah, they go from like lemon and herb and mango and lime or some bullshit.
Oh, fuck off mango and lime.
I gotta find like the nearest Nando's.
There's some in the States.
Because they have it in other countries. I feel like it would be a thing in Vegas, maybe.
No, I think they were East Coast.
Oh, alright. Well, I'm gonna do that as soon as we're done recording.
And drive like 4 hours for it.
Just drive like 5 hours to have Nando's.
I wouldn't
yeah,
drive
why
a
not?
long way for a Nando's. I mean, it's fine. It's just fine.
Well, just to say I did it.
Okay. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't order the mango and lime.
Fair enough.
Adam P, we'll go for dessert. What's the best chocolate bar? Twix. Obviously.
Both as the answer for this podcast and genuinely like my favorite one. That or Kit Kat. But
Kit Kat, that's not.
No.
I like it simple. Keep it simple. People get too fucking fancy with their
Just
chocolate
comparing
things.
those two, you've got caramel, so that wins. I mean, yeah, Twix has the addition of caramel.
They're basically the same, just one has caramel. Sometimes you're in the mood, sometimes you're in the not.
Yeah, I suppose Kit Kats are different in the US.
How so?
It's just milk chocolate and wafer over here. I don't know what else is going
Oh,
on
okay.
over there. But
Oh, no, so they are the same then. I thought it was...
it's
I always
Twix
thought
if
it
you
was
took the
different.
caramel out. Very simple,
Yeah,
classic candy.
but a Twix isn't a wafer. A Twix is biscuit.
Well, you guys say the wrong word for biscuit over there, so I don't know what the fuck.
It's not wafer, it's cookie. I don't know, I'm trying to translate it for you.
Yeah, what would you call what's in a Twix then?
Wafer.
It's not a wafer.
And we fucking invented it. Specifically
Specifically
me.
you, yeah.
Kit Kat is a chocolate-covered wafer bar confection created by Roundtrees of York, United
Yeah,
Kingdom.
no, I know.
Yeah, we know what Kit Kat is.
Okay, I'm just saying that is also wafer.
Yeah, but
Kit
that
Kat
is a
definitely-
wafer. In a Twix isn't a wafer.
All I want to know is what you call what's in a Twix, but you're calling it
Oh, it
wafer.
is called cookie in North America. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Cookie. Right.
Twix is a chocolate biscuit made by Mars, consisting of a biscuit cookie in North America, applied with other confectionery toppings and coatings.
But all I'm saying is like if you went round trick or treating and you knocked on someone's door and they gave you a Kit Kat, like that house was getting egged.
Nah, I love a Kit Kat.
No, that's like the cheapest, like one up from like a Penguin. It's like that's just fucking cop out multi-pack bullshit. Get me like something exotic, like a crunchy or a curly whirly. You know what I mean?
Or a Boost. Do you like a Boost?
Oh, I bloody love a Boost.
Boost is the forgotten chocolate bar. I love a Boost.
They used to do a green one which was Boost Guarana.
Yeah,
I like that.
That scared me.
No, I like that.
We gotta get another American on this, because none of those are things over here, and I want to be like, I have opinions on chocolate, but you wouldn't be...
I know. What did you like Babe Ruth or a Three Musketeers or a bit of honey. I don't know what.
I don't know. I don't actually have opinions on chocolate. I was just feeling left out, okay? God damn it.
I'm just naming M&Ms.
He won't eat chocolate. It's cold.
Yeah.
Right.
What about hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate that's been left out for an hour, I'll drink.
But that's cold.
Well, hot chocolate, when it's too hot, is too hot. I gotta let it cool down.
So you like chocolate?
I'll make a hot chocolate and then put it in the fridge for 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
No, I'm joking, not literally. I'll let it sit for a little bit. But
Nothing surprises me anymore, Oscar. I don't.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
I've entered the Tyson zone.
But frozen hot chocolate is a thing in New York at that
It's
place.
one specific place, yeah. Serendipity.
That's it, yes.
They also have the world's most expensive dessert.
This is true. Many of the world's most expensive things.
Okay, let's move away from food before we fall out. And
Really hungry.
You're really hungry. Sorry.
So
mate.
hungry.
Oh, God. Okay, let's get on with this then. Emily, your wife,
For now.
your current wife, 1/3 of the Nerdy Nerd Chronicles, says, if you could only watch one movie ever again, but you can watch that as many times as you like, what would it be?
What is it with you two and just endless indulgence of one thing? You go
Yeah,
for like
good point.
eating a
Yeah.
shitload. She goes for like viewing. You're all about consumption.
Yeah, I'm actually the reasonable one of the two of us in that regard, which is like, should be very terrifying to those that are not the two of us.
Does Emily go to excess then?
Yeah, she's a pure hedonist, I would say.
Wow.
Okay.
Force Awakens for me, I guess, if no one else wants to go. Star Wars Force Awakens.
What? No, why? No.
It brings me untold joy. It makes me, of all the movies I've ever seen, it's the one that makes me the happiest to watch.
Wow. Have you ever seen a good film?
What are you gonna fucking say? What's some, like, super hipster answer? Like, some independent silent film from French cinema of the 1940s? Blah, 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 and you drink your homemade IPA while you're doing it?
Don't like IPA, so fuck off.
I do bloody love an IPA.
Yeah, IPAs are great.
Yeah, it's because you're both hipsters.
Yeah, I'm definitely more hipster than you. That's why I enjoy the...
Yep. Just watch one film. Because instantly when this came to mind, I just went, Avengers. But then you never get to see anything taken further.
The first Avengers or Infinity War?
No, like Endgame.
Or Endgame.
But the emotional abuse, like I saw that a second time,
Yeah, that's
and I
too
was
tiring.
a fucking wreck. I was crying for like half the film.
Yeah, it's too much. That's overwhelming to be the one thing you watch over and over again.
Do you need to go more upbeat then?
You need something light, something breezy, but something that's fun and makes you happy.
Mine would be Apollo 13.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I fucking, honestly,
Never
I've
seen
watched
it.
that film so... You've not seen Apollo 13?
Nah, it's just like Tom Hanks and they crashed, didn't they? That's it, really. The end.
Yeah, they crash into the moon.
Like the actual moon.
Do you not know the story?
I don't know what to say to
I
that.
think you're being... I don't know if you're joking or not.
I'm joking.
Okay.
It's one of them films that, like, if I catch it on the telly, I have to leave on and watch.
Okay. Well, if that's the cat, it's Die Hard.
Die Hard's a good one.
Can never skip Die Hard. Exactly that logic, Ian. I can never. Similarly, Die Hard 3 can't skip. Die Hard 2,
No, Die Hard 2 sucks, but I would pick Die Hard 3 actually over Die Hard 1 for repeat watchings.
It's Lethal Weapon, but with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Die Hard's a good answer.
Yeah, it's also the best Christmas film. We had this
That's correct.
argument.
Yes.
Okay, Dave Mateo, what video game do you most want to see a sequel or remake of?
I have been itching so hard.
You need
for
to get
another
that scene
good-
too.
Yeah. And in an unrelated note, I really wish there was another Guitar Hero game. And not that bullshit one that they released a few years ago with 3 buttons and then 3 on top of that, so you had to actually play chords. I want that old school 6 colors in a row, classic Guitar Hero controller.
I mean, the classic Guitar Hero controller was 5 buttons.
5
Counting his fingers.
Yes, 5 buttons, you're right. Yeah,
Does he even know? God.
that or Dance Dance Revolution. You used to be able to play that at home. I had these mats for PlayStation 1.
Oh yeah, I remember the mats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you live in a block of flats, your neighbours fucking hate you.
Yeah, fuck them. They play the flute at 2 in the fucking morning every day anyway.
I was going to say, yeah, Oscar's a drummer who now has a brilliant sound system for watching films. So He doesn't care.
And it wouldn't surprise me, out of all of his pettiness, that he would specifically play Dance Dance Revolution just to piss people off.
Well, we got this new thing that's kind of like... So it reignited the love of musical games in me. That's why I immediately went to Guitar Hero for this. It's called Beat Saber. I don't know if you guys have seen about Beat Saber.
Oh, you told us about that.
I've heard of that. Yeah, it's the VR one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's DDR, but with lightsabers in a VR simulator space. It's fucking crazy cool.
That's a pretty sick combination of things. It makes me upset that I don't have it.
You have a PlayStation, just get a PSVR. And then, like, not have a kid for, like, a few weeks.
Yeah, that's how that works. Yep.
Hand it off so that you have some disposable income and then, bring it back.
Yeah, no. Amazon have started doing that. That in terms of credit, what you can do is just trade in your child, and then the child will work in the warehouse packing all of their stuff. That's how they're getting around the new slavery laws. I think one of the games that I love the most is actually getting remade and released, like, this week. Is it this week? Which is Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, that's soon.
Which is, I mean, I don't care what anyone says, it's better than Mario Kart.
Not Mario 64. Mario Kart 64.
It's better than Mario 64.
I mean, it's not, but that's
way
fine.
better. No, it is. It is, because it's just a better game. And now they're making it bigger and more, and yeah, can't wait for that shit.
Are they just remastering it, or are they doing something else with it, Chuck? Do you know?
They're like boosted.
I never bothered looking it up.
They've kind of combined some elements from the later series of kart racing they did to then develop the story mode further, is from what I can tell. But ultimately, as long as it's the same and with those characters, like, I love those characters. The mechanics are always great. It was far more dynamic and didn't feel quite as wooden, I didn't think, as Mario Kart 64. And Crash Bandicoot is like the greatest game ever, so it's amazing.
Fair enough.
But Guitar Hero, I used to play Guitar Hero a lot, and I'd always play it a shitload, then go, I don't need it anymore. I'd have like all the equipment, all the instruments, and go, I don't need it anymore. Get rid of it, like literally throw it away, and then 2 years later, buy it all again.
I wish you could do that. You just can't even, like... I would absolutely go on eBay and buy, like, an old guitar and put my disc in, but you can't. It's not backwards compatible, so there's literally no options.
I bought everything like 3 times, I swear. I had like 5 guitars. Jimmy Bullard has one of my guitars, actually.
Did you ever get into the rock band, or were you a Guitar Hero purist?
What, Chuck?
Jimmy Bullard stole my Guitar Hero guitar.
Right. Flesh that out.
So I used to work for a well-known cocktail bar chain that is synonymous with red and white colours in Covent Garden. And I was off on a day, but obviously you bring in like different things and you have clutter all over the... What? It's TGI Fridays, fuck it.
I was going to say...
And my Guitar Hero controller was broken, but I just brought it in and hung it up because it was something to like put up somewhere. And one day when I wasn't working, the Millwall team came... I think it was when he was at Millwall, came in and had like their end of season party, and Jimmy Bullard wanted to play it.
At a TGI Fridays?
Yeah.
Jimmy Bullard's never had ideas above his station. I mean, he played for Peterborough at one point.
Yeah, and then he was playing it, and then they all left and he ran off with it.
There you go.
And it was the black Les Paul one from Guitar Hero 3, I believe.
I mean, I still know people on Soccer AM. I can see if I can get it back for you if you want.
Nah, it was fucked anyway.
Okay, fine.
Now, Ian, I know they didn't have video games when you were a child, but...
No.
Fuck off, he had a Commodore 64, thank you very much. ZX Spectrum.
I had an Acorn Electron before that.
Fucking hell.
Well, my dad had it, but I definitely played on it a lot. Where you used to have cassettes, the games used to be on cassette.
And it takes about half an hour to turn on.
Yeah, and if so you'd have to like rewind the cassette if the program wasn't loading properly and press play, and yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, my first sort of like proper console was the original NES, and I used to have Duck Hunt, and that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That was good.
The Zapper,
Fucking
and
love
like,
Duck Hunt.
God, I wasted hours on that. I was so fucking good at that game.
Did you have Duck Hunt on the same disc as, or on the same cartridge as Mario?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that came with the
and
bundle.
I always played Duck Hunt. Like, Duck Hunt got way more love than Mario did at my house. But
Yeah.
then Mario's like the classic game that everyone talks about forever and ever.
Well,
It's like, why didn't Duck Hunt catch on? That dog? What an asshole. I love him.
I mean, just such a simple game, but I just absolutely loved it. And then obviously the SNES. I've got a SNES Mini now, and I'm absolutely loving that. It's fucking brilliant.
I'm waiting for the PlayStation that's coming out soon. The PS1 Classic. It's the same idea.
See, I'm not fussed with that.
Depends what games it has on it, I suppose.
It's true.
Like, because the SNES one's good, although there's a lot of games I never had, but, like, I think it misses Pilot Wings. I don't know if you ever played that. That was that's seminal.
No, but I know of it.
Yeah, seminal Super Nintendo game that was just so good. And I really wish Pilot Wings was on there. I mean, it's got, like, Star Fox and Zelda, which I've been playing. That's great.
Nice. We were a Genesis household.
No, that's like Ian.
Genesis. Oh, dear.
We were a Sega and Sony family. We were never much on Nintendo, although the 64 was obviously.
Yeah. Oh, GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. I mean, that was fucking...
Fuck, if we could get a remake of GoldenEye.
Yeah,
but like an actual remake, not like a bullshit...
I don't want any add-ons. I don't want any improvement.
I don't want better graphics.
Only graphically,
I don't want anything.
That's fine. I want such a broken aiming system that you can't move and aim at the same time.
Exactly as it was.
I want there to be...
You gotta use the C buttons, bro. C up, C down, C left, C right.
No, because you still can't really move properly. Because it would like, if you pressed it, you would just aim to the edge of the screen. I still got it and a Nintendo 64.
No way.
Yeah, we have it at my parents' house. My dad kept everything. We have an Atari 2600 that still works.
Oh man, I wish I'd have kept stuff like that.
Yeah, he kept everything in perfect running order. It's in the basement of my parents' house. I could go play every fucking system except for Super NES. That's like the only one we didn't buy.
I had that weird Atari Jaguar console.
Yep.
I did it. Mm-hmm. I swear I felt like the only person in the world who had that over it.
Well, yeah, Atari went out of business after that. So.
Exactly, yeah.
That's probably why, because they were like, the only person who's bought it is this kid in Peterborough.
I think I got it second hand as well. But I think I didn't have many games on that. I think I had Doom.
Fucking hell, yeah, that would have been great, wouldn't it?
But I think I had Theme Park on it as well.
You can buy all these for like PlayStation and Xbox. Like I just bought Sega Genesis / Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, and it's like 50 games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are the ones with like that's got like Echo the Dolphin 1, 2, and 3, and Streets of Rage and
Streets of Rage. I've been playing some Streets of Rage, some Golden Axe, all of the
Golden
Sonics.
Axe is garbage.
I wasn't a Sega boy. I was Nintendo. So
yeah, I knew I didn't like you for a reason.
And I was PlayStation. So there you go.
Well, PlayStation was after. I forget that you're a child.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had a PlayStation 1. Like, I think I was pretty much felt like I was done with consoles. But then,
all right, run us through what systems have you owned ever, from beginning to end.
Oh, shit. So, so I had Acorn Electron. I mean, that's more of a forerunner to a shitty PC type thing. But yeah, NES, Super NES. I had, it was mostly Nintendo. I had Nintendo 64. I didn't have any. I didn't have a Sega Master System. Didn't have a Mega Drive. Didn't do any Sega stuff. Got the Atari Jaguar, like I say, second hand. I had Nintendo 64, and then I had a PlayStation 1, and that's when I dipped out of console gaming. PlayStation 1.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and then I picked up the baton.
Yeah, exactly. I passed it.
Exactly.
Because PlayStation was my first. Well, I had Game Boys. But PlayStation was my first
Yes,
console.
I had a Game Boy, yeah.
And a Game Gear.
It was because the thing with Game Gear was that the battery life was always shit because it was a colour screen. And like I remember thinking as a kid, God, they're never going to get a device that's going to be able to have a colour screen that's going to like have a battery life that can deal with it. And now we fucking all like carry around phones with us that are just fully HD or whatever. But yeah, the Game Gear had no battery life because it was a colour screen.
Yeah, I remember playing it plugged in constantly.
Yes,
yeah.
And it weighed about 19 pounds. My little child arms were like jacked because of holding up the Game Gear. This child is freakishly strong.
But yeah, I mean, with Finley getting older now, like I'm really looking forward to getting back into it because then I went the PC gaming sort of thing, and I did like Civilization and Football Manager and all that sort of thing,
StarCraft and all that shit.
Yeah, but like. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into console gaming now. Like Finley's got a Nintendo Switch, and it's great. It's a fucking good little console, you know.
It is, yeah.
I know it's sort of a bit kiddie, but it's really good.
I just wish it wasn't so popular, so the bloody price would drop.
Oh yeah, they haven't had to drop it yet because it's been fucking popular. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody has one, even if I have a lot of friends who bought it for like a specific game, played it, and then. Or like, oh, that's right, I have a Switch.
Yeah.
And we'll play like once every 6 months, and that's us too.
Right. It's really good though.
Everybody has one. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting back into console gaming.
Well, the next generation's coming out soon. Like they're about to talk about all the details with PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And the Xbox has a code name, the project, but the system itself doesn't have a name yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Xbox is bollocks.
I thought that for a long time, and then I got an Xbox for this generation because it's the only thing that does true 4K native and does 4K Blu-rays. Whereas the PS4 Elite or PS4 Pro does 4K, but it's not native in the gaming, and it doesn't work as a fucking 4K Blu-ray player. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
See, my natural reaction, because obviously Finney's like 9 this year or whatever, it's going to be console time soon. Like
9 this year or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. When was he born? Whenever you go to like the doctor's surgery and they go date of birth, I always go, first of, and I'd sort of like, it just takes a minute. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't an active participant. I was just like, can we wrap this up?
Can we get
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
I hadn't eaten all. I'll tell you the story of that one day, but Jesus Christ. It's a midwife from hell. Didn't get me any food. I've been in the same fucking room and not eaten anything. Don't worry about me. Jesus. Anyway, my natural sort of instinct would be to go PlayStation just because that's what I knew as a kid. So, I mean, but yeah, I'll have to do some research, obviously.
Yeah, when they step up the next PlayStation, they'll beat Xbox, because Xbox did basically 3 step changes.
Yeah, I have the like highest version of the Xbox, which is the One X. So that was worth it, but that was just for the 4K. But if you get PlayStation, Ian, you can play Spider-Man, which is the greatest fucking game of all time.
It's a good game.
Decisions. Anyway, let's go back to the questions. Adam P.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing questions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Adam P. What did you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be a fighter pilot.
A fighter pilot?
And then I'm colorblind, so.
Oh, it's a vision thing. Shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Top Gun was my favorite movie growing up. I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed with fighter jets. We go to air shows, and I spent 2 days at the Museum of the Air Force in Ohio, in the middle of fucking nowhere in Ohio.
Right. This is going to sound weird, but like, did you know about the colorblind thing and the fact that it would disqualify you, like, young enough for it not to crush you, or did it fucking crush you?
No, I'm the kid from Little Miss Sunshine. Like, straight up. I was like 14 or 15. I was in high school, and I was like, wait, I can't join the Air Force?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it wrecked me. And that turned into like, well, if I can't fly the things, I'm going to learn how to design them. So I went into aerospace engineering for a while, which was a huge mistake because I fucking hated that. And I had to basically start college over again when I was like way older, because I just dropped out and waited tables for a while and was like, nope, not about this shit.
Right.
It's not the same as flying them.
Ugh.
Chuck, what was yours?
Yeah.
Don't know. I think I didn't really have dreams.
No burning ambitions.
No.
Just to get a Game Gear that'd work.
Well, it was my sister's Game Gear. That wasn't even mine.
Just to get a Game Gear for yourself.
Yeah, just wanted my own Game Gear one day to not
Did
have
you
to
want
give
to
it back.
Were you hoping to be like a Willy Wonka type of guy with a Twix factory? Or?
Fuck off.
Valid question.
I think I always wanted to be a fireman.
Oh, bless your little heart.
Yeah.
Little
No interest now, like the whole death element. Fuck that.
Yeah. They're not well compensated for what they do.
No, fuck am I working for the government.
Yeah.
What about you, Ian? Did you one day dream of becoming the drummer for Genesis, or did it just kind of happen?
It just fell into my lap. Yeah, it just fell into my lap. Well, I mean, I did want to be a music
producer.
A music producer is what I wanted to be.
Well, and look
at
where
me
you
now.
are now.
Look at me now. So I went to uni and did music technology, and that was the sort of big dream. Mainly because I got to uni and everyone could play guitar, sing, play keys, play bass better than me. Like, everyone could play better than me. So I was like, I better just press record and twiddle these knobs then. My dreams were quickly bumped down to sort of music producer. And then when I left uni, I quickly heard of a sound job at a shopping channel in Peterborough where I lived. So I got that job because I was desperate not to work in an office. I'd done 6 weeks temping in an office on a uni summer holiday, and fuck me, I was desperate not to do that. So then once I got a sound job that was like paying, it was sort of like, and I enjoyed it, I was like, I'll do this then. So Sort of fell into it, but also sort of glad I don't have a real job. So, and I can make the odd jingle on the side, I suppose.
Isn't it? That's like producing music.
That's the same. Cutting YouTube bellends.
It's just as rewarding, I'm sure, as raking in millions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Taking a turn, everyone's kind of depressed.
Johnny OG, who are your favourite stand-up comedians? Let's cheer ourselves up.
Awkward.
What's up?
Like, the real answer is Louis C.K.
Oh, do you know what? That is him.
It sucks. It sucks
It
because
really
he's
sucks.
such good comedy.
Yeah.
But he's such a piece of shit.
His stand-up was fucking great.
I know, and now I feel weird about liking it. Like, I don't stop liking it. I'm not going to say, like, oh, I don't love his comedy. It's still great comedy, but, like, I feel really gross about it now. I can't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson still made good music.
Yeah,
but
it's that thing of separating...
kids.
Yeah, separating art from the person or whatever act they did is... But yeah, I know what you mean. It does spoil your enjoyment.
That's the real tragedy here, honestly, of all of that situation, is that now I don't get to enjoy his stand-up anymore.
Yeah.
Of ones that I'm allowed to say, I would say I'm particularly fond of Mike Birbiglia.
I don't know him.
Don't know, no.
Oh, check him out. He's got some really, really, really weird, good old stuff.
Chuck, any good stand-ups?
Jim Jeffries.
Oh, Jim Jeffries. I saw him in a club in Scarborough. Fucking... Like, while I was at uni, so that would have been...
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that...
1984?
Good. I was 10 in 94, fuck you.
I said 84.
I think he said 84.
I was going to say 84. I was born in 84, fuck you. Yeah, God, that would have been like 2003, probably.
2004,
so
yeah.
Years ago. But, and he was fucking great then. Honestly, practically his whole routine was about hardcore pornography. And, like, me and my mate were pissing ourselves being connoisseurs of the genre. And
wankers.
Yeah, exactly. No one else was laughing.
Nice.
It was really good. Really funny.
No, he's absolutely brilliant. I started listening to him about 2009 or so, and obviously he got really big because of the gun control thing, which just propelled him in a different direction, and Netflix and all that kind of stuff. But it's quite funny afterwards that he does these big shows as like people are expecting me to be political. I just tell jokes about shit and dicks.
Yeah.
and that's it. And he's very, very funny, and his stuff, all this stuff about God and pandas being a bunch of and
it is brilliant.
Love it.
It is brilliant.
Where do you guys fall on Gervais? I know he's pretty not controversial, but like opinions are split on him over there.
I worship him like a god.
I'm okay with his stand-up, but I don't really like anything else he's done, and I don't think he's a good person.
Okay.
See, I'm pretty much flipped round on that. Like, I think his early stand-up was good, and then he went a bit...
It's a bit preachy.
Weird, and
it's very preachy.
Odd. He has brilliant moments, but a bit odd. And I think most of the stuff he's written is great. I mean, I think The Office is the most perfect sitcom this country's produced. I think Extras had its moments. Life's Too Short was terrible, but then Afterlife, the thing he's done on Netflix recently, is fucking brilliant.
See, I thought that was really preachy as well. I couldn't really get into it. Like, there's bits of it that are really funny. Like, when he threatens a small ginger child with a hammer.
Really good, yeah. But I found it really affecting. I really liked it. But yeah, I do really like Gervais, I must admit. Stand-up wise, I'm quite wide ranging. I love James Acaster at the minute. Absolutely brilliant.
No.
He's so good. His Netflix. He's got 4 shows on Netflix.
Oh,
That's
wow.
4 too many.
No, he's so good. But I like Stuart Lee as well. Absolutely brilliant.
There are very, very, like, isolated and diverging stand-up comedy communities in England and the US.
Yeah.
I don't know that many English comedians. Like, a few make the jump.
Yeah, not many.
But there's a fucking ton of them, and I'm aware that there are a ton of them. I just, like...
You get the very, very odd English comedian who is more successful over there as well. Like Daniel Sloss.
I don't know him.
Do you not? Right. So he's more successful in America than he is in this country. And he's
Well, who's the guy who does the daily? Was it Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart is a genius. Yeah. No, sorry.
Yeah.
John Oliver.
John Oliver's amazing.
Yeah.
But not like I've never known him being over here. I only know him through that show. But he's a writer, isn't he?
His most successful thing over here was the Bugle podcast that he did with Andy Zaltzman, a satirical podcast that they originally did for the Times. Then they started slagging off Rupert Murdoch, and it all seemed to sort of cut off. But they managed to go independent and do it themselves. But it was absolutely brilliant. But John Oliver was always based in America,
right?
But then obviously got Last Week Tonight, which is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, because he was on the Daily Show for a long time with Jon Stewart.
With Jon Stewart. That's yeah. Oh, I used to love the Daily Show. That was so good.
I like the new one. It's not the same, but I like.
Trevor Noah's all right.
Trevor Noah's stand-up is good.
I like stand-up. Trevor Noah is very funny.
Yeah, he is good.
I like his stand-up a lot more than the Daily Show stuff. But
I agree with that.
He's been on like quite a few panel shows here, and he seems like an incredibly intelligent and eloquent guy, and I like him a lot. He's good. But then sometimes I just like dick jokes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. I am wide-ranging in my stand-up. I've seen Jimmy Carr a load of times. And I mean,
he's fine. I've seen him a few times.
Yeah, I mean, as well, I like the way his act's evolved over the years. Because when I first saw him, it was straight up one-liner, and then I think the last time I saw him, which admittedly was years ago, like the whole second half of the show was just crowd work. He was just chatting to people, and it was really good. It was really strong. And I'm sure he had a backup of jokes he could fall back on if it all goes wrong. But his act definitely evolved over the years, and. I mean, obviously he's known more as a bloody panel show host over here, isn't he? But I mean, much as being an actual comedian, but he's good.
Well, given your two particular senses of humor, I think you would really like Mike Birbiglia. You should check it out.
Yeah, we'll do.
His stuff. He does a bit about not being able to stop stupid words from coming out of him.
Right.
But then he's telling these stories from the perspective of like, now I'm in the room with the audience.
Okay.
So he's like, I know. I'm in the future too. What I should have said was nothing. What I did say was, and then film looks like one of them, he's moving in and he's carrying a mattress. And he like locked himself out of the building. And so like a girl opens the door for him and she's like, if you were a rapist, you wouldn't be carrying your own mattress. And then he's like, what I should have said was nothing. What I did say was, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, good.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Not the rape, the comedy.
Yeah, the comedy.
Yeah, well, he didn't rape the girl. He was moving in, so.
Well, you'd bring your own mattress, wouldn't you?
Right now, I've been on a kick of John Mulaney. We watched his specials like a bunch of times back to back. He was the head writer for SNL for a long time, and now he's off on his own. He came up through the like improv scene, I think in Chicago or maybe New York. So he's got a very intelligent, very sort of like reactive humor.
Okay.
And he tells good stories about being on the SNL staff, but then also is just like a funny guy.
Mm.
He's got like 3 or 4 specials on Netflix too. He's weird though. I wouldn't recommend him to a lot of people. I just like him.
Okay. And because it rhymes with the person you just said, Rob Delaney, he's fucking great in stand-up.
We're watching the last season of Catastrophe right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, Catastrophe's great, yeah. But Rob Delaney's very, very good in stand-up. Oh, Greg Davis as well. He's really good.
Greg Davis is amazing. He's very, very funny.
He's really good.
The R&B singer.
That's Craig David.
I know. I'm joking.
Similar, though.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, I love Greg Davis. He's very good stand-up. Sam Danby asks, what other podcasts do you listen to?
What's a podcast?
Seems sacrilegious, that, to ask us.
So listen to us, and that's it.
On repeat, please.
Yes,
Get the numbers up.
I can't even think of any other podcasts besides Miles Offside. I've never heard of even a single other one.
I mean, you do have another one. Is that what you're trying to get?
I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can talk about
it. The Nerdy Nerd Chronicles.
But I don't listen.
Stimmers, you do listen, right?
I do listen, yeah. I do. It's weird for me because I'm not a super nerd. So to hear you guys talk so passionately about the ways in which John Wick can kill someone is really sort of. I haven't watched any of those films, but I like not a single one. But I was it enthralled me to hear about how he kills people with a pen or a book or whatever. And it's enjoyable. Yeah,
we did do 40 minutes of John Wick killing people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is really weird that you have never seen those, but you enjoyed it. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, no, I think it was good. And then very occasionally you reference films I have seen, like The Incredibles 2, and why that's not as good because it's not got as many kills.
No. I doubt the body count is as high in Incredibles 2 as John Wick 3. Yeah, less kill count.
Yeah. No, I have been listening. It's been good. I've enjoyed it. Very good. So he's got a few categories. He listens to some science ones, none of which I've heard of. Well, I've heard of TED Talk, obviously, but Blue Streak Science, Sleepwalkers, Science Versus. I mean, that's your wheelhouse, really, Oscar. Do you listen to any science podcasts?
I listen to some, like, science/statistics nerdier ones. Like, the 538 podcast is really good. And then a lot of these line up with science, but it's much more comedy. I'm not into like really serious podcasts. That's like not my thing.
Okay.
But if someone does serious stuff, but with a comedy tweak, I'm all about it. So like the Cracked podcast is incredibly informative. They always have like cool, crazy things. Like 9 ways that colors affect your psychology.
Okay.
That was like, they did a whole episode on that, and it was like studies about the color red and the color pink and the color blue and why like certain medications are certain colors, or like in the US it's actually illegal to paint the away locker room a certain shade of pink.
Really?
Because someone had a psychological study that they realized that shade of pink calms you down significantly, which is why Pepto-Bismol is that color. It's that specific pink. It soothes you like on a psychological level.
Science.
Independent of culture too. So they used to paint locker rooms that color, and then teams would just lose. There was a lot of statistical analysis to prove that it was like a measurable effect. So it's now illegal to paint your away locker room that color. So cool shit. So Crack podcast for nerdy, sciencey, cool stuff. But it's funny. It's like comedians always. So.
He lists some crime ones he listens to. Zodiac Killer, Atlanta Monster, Wonderland Murders, Teacher's Pet, which I have listened to.
See, I've never listened to any of that, because people go on about Serial and stuff like that, but I've never listened to any crime podcast.
See, I'm a sucker for a true crime podcast, and like
I did Serial when it was popular, and then never again.
So are they not like dramatized or anything? It's just they tell you. So kind of like when they did Making a Murderer on Netflix.
That's
it's kind
exactly
of a
what Making
thing.
a Murderer was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Serial. The first series is good because I think the host sort of. As she goes through the podcast, sort of flip-flops between whether she thinks he's guilty or innocent, and you feel like you're going along with her, and it's really good. The second series, I got bored after 2 episodes. I didn't listen to anything.
Yeah, I listened to I think the first episode, and then
I wasn't bothered.
I was like, nope, I don't care about this.
The first season's good.
My actual favorite podcast is a nerdy one for like pop culture stuff, pretty much exactly the same stuff we cover on Nerdy Nerd. It's 2 Australian comedians. I'm weirdly into Australian podcasts, actually. There's like 4 or 5 that I listen to.
Okay.
The Weekly Planet.
Oh, yeah,
they're really funny, and they do all the nerdy stuff. And then they're one of their like sibling podcasts, because they have a whole network. It's called Do Go On. Ian, I think you in particular would love Do Go On.
Do Go On.
It's just 3 comedians. Every week, one person has to do a report to the class.
Okay.
And then the other 2 have to try to distract them and get the conversation as off the rails as possible. And they're just like generally assholes.
So they stole our idea.
Yeah, exactly. They're good. Their chemistry is much better than ours.
Well, that Teacher's Pet one that he mentions is an Australian one as well. It's about an old case of a woman going missing and whether her husband at the time killed her or not. And it's sort of like an ongoing thing, like he's been arrested recently. It's quite dry in places. All the podcasts are like, I mean, this one's going to be a lengthy one, so I can't say that long podcasts are bad, but I mean, it does get a bit sort of dry, but it is an interesting case, definitely. And I listened to an American one from 2 guys from Ohio, True Crime Garage, and they review beer and then like take a like old murder case or something and go through it. It's really good. It's an acquired taste, but I really
there's
like
a podcast for everything, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of podcasting. Like, it's just great.
It is great because it's
you
just
can find a podcast on everything.
It's so sort of intimate with the three of us. We've been chatting for, I mean, I'll edit it down hard, but we've been chatting for 2 hours and a quarter now. I've got on my timer, and but it's like that with the listener as well, isn't it? Because I mean, I don't know about you, but like pretty much you just forget that you're doing a podcast, as most of our content probably shows, and you're just having a chat. So it's nothing lets the listener in like that. Not even like live radio or anything, I don't think.
Well, and I think it's so cool that like we're by no means a big podcast. Like we're a very small podcast, right?
Apart from in Barbados.
Still chatting in Barbados.
France and Virginia too. But that's exactly my point. Like, it's so cool that we have listeners in Virginia and Australia. Like, think about how far apart those two fucking places are. And Finland. And, like, that's just cool to me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, that leads us on to Adam P. What's the best and worst thing about doing the podcast?
Oscar.
For both?
For both, yeah.
I find that acceptable.
Yeah.
The best thing is, honestly, just getting to talk to you guys once a week. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have friends.
No, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice to have that put aside time to just have a chat and a beer, even if we're not in the same room as we've said before. But it is, definitely.
Worst part is Adam.
Adam, yeah.
Worst part is Adam, yeah.
Yeah, worst part is Adam.
The worst part is sifting through the autograph hunters as I try and get to my car in the morning.
Ugh.
The worst part for Ian is genuinely editing.
Yeah,
He's too nice to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the editing. But I'm far too much of a perfectionist, so it takes me far too long. Basically, if I'm a half hour of the podcast takes me about an hour and a half to edit.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't got quite that far down. I would say I'm 20 minutes for 2 hours. No, that's not. It depends. Depends on the week for a nerdy nerd.
Yeah.
I'm fucking horrible. It takes so long.
Yeah. It does take a long time. So yeah, that is the worst thing, but it's a labour of love.
Isn't it?
But yeah, the best thing is definitely the fact that you get, as you say, people listening from California to Australia who like get in touch with us and sort of want to ask us questions like tonight. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, everyone jokes that the podcast is a bit self-indulgent, and it is kind of like there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. I think, to do something that you enjoy and to get that kind of feeling and venting, and the weird, like you said, the weird thing of, people actually want to listen to us. It's a bit odd.
Although we do have our new number one fan, the other Oscar. See you later, Dave, and see you later, Adam. All right, now that we have a fan named Oscar, you know that they're our number
new
one
Oscar,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, the new Oscar, the other Oscar, officially number one fan.
That was the Oscar I meant when I said the best and worst thing, by the way, this guy as well.
Yeah.
This new one is.
That's the last thing you need is another Oscar floating around.
And our last question, from Dave Mateo, obviously. At what point in the 50 episodes did Oscar take over as the biggest on the show?
What is that about?
Brackets, Chuck, raise your game. I don't know. What have you done to upset Dave?
I have no idea.
What have I done to be
I
less
helped
of a
him with
dick?
his tattoo design a few months ago. He sends me comments about his fucking classwork, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd love to have an opinion on this. Now I'm the biggest on the pod? What the fuck, bro?
That seemed to come out of nowhere. It's amazing.
What is that about?
Well, he didn't say you're the biggest on the pod, just that you're more the one than me. I mean, Ian still could be up there for Dave. We don't know what Dave's rankings are.
No, true. We haven't seen his spreadsheet. But me and Oscar have recently listened to episode 1, and I think it was probably about episode 3, maybe, or maybe the one where he got drunk. I don't know, where Chuck started showing his true colours, and then from then on, he's been just awful.
And you can hear his real accent come out as you go through like the first 5 episodes. It's slowly more and more, or less and less polished. Let's say.
Oh, what did we all have BBC pronunciation before?
Well, Chuck certainly did. Ian, I don't think you could if you tried because you're from the north. So like,
this voice is from the north. Yeah,
but Chuck was like, "Oh, I dare say, good sir."
Again, why didn't you do a southern accent last time, like a deep south?
Did I?
Yeah, when he
Ian's
was portraying
child.
Finley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'll
That's
say,
right.
sir. Not
do
a fine day.
So that's it. If you want to get in touch with us at any point, and thank you for all of those questions we asked and you delivered, we've still got
For once.
questions in the bank. So thank you for that. We can be found on Twitter at Miles Offside Pod, on Facebook as Miles Offside, and if you've got an email to send us, milesoffsidepod@gmail.com. But more importantly, we can also be found on Patreon, patreon.com/milesoffsidepod, where you can donate monthly money to keep us being able to do this, because it costs money to host even at our level, and you will get extra pods and stuff. So if you want to check that out, that would be much appreciated.
Extra pods and dick pics.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
And potentially socks.
Yeah, someone get that. I really want to. Can we go back to that question again about dreams? And that I never knew that what I really wanted to do is just buy people socks.
that's what you wanted to do when you grew up.
Yeah. That's what I want to do now when I grow up. I'm still the child of this podcast.
Have them give you $30 a month and you send them socks.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
On a 6-monthly cycle.
Yeah. And just to let you know of the plan as well, we are going to take a few weeks off now.
Are we?
Yeah. Have a little holiday, Chuck. You know, go see your kid. Bond.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah, shit, innit? And we're going to take a few weeks off, come back probably after the Women's World Cup is finished, do a little wrap-up of that and any other news that has arose. And then we're going to think about previewing next season and do Miles Offside Pod Season 2.
50 episodes of this shit. Download now and please rate review 5 stars. Ding!
Please rate review. Yeah, we could do with some reviews, to be honest.
Although we actually have a rating that shows up in the US now, because Sam Danby did it while he was over here on vacation. So thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. But yeah, do give us a review. It helps other people find our podcast. And I think there's going to be a lot of people looking for new pods to listen to with the new season starting. So if you can review us on iTunes or wherever you get your pods, it would be tremendously helpful.
And if you, like me, get 900 people asking you how to get into the Premier League every year when there's new American fans who are like, oh, this soccer thing is cool, maybe I'll give it a chance, just tell them to listen to us.
Yeah. And that will just put them off for life.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll tell them to support Norwich and then they'll never watch football again.
Or Peterborough.
Howard Farrington. PE teacher. Legend. Beard.
Beardy legend. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening, guys. A big old bumper ball bag of questions. Goodbye.
Bye.
I can kiss away the pain. Did I ever tell you I met Enrique Iglesias?
No.
Oh.
I'm not Enrique Iglesias. Does he think he's on a podcast with Enrique Iglesias this whole fucking time?
No!
I say my name every day at the beginning of the podcast.
I met him like 7 years ago. 7 years ago? 8 years ago. And me and this other guy sang Hero at him in the style of Kermit the Frog, and he didn't appreciate it.
Oh. That's
cool.
What a shocking surprise that he didn't appreciate that.
Yes.
Did you ever see the South Park episode where like they're taking the piss out of Rob Schneider films?
Yes. Rob Schneider.
Yeah,
Rob
exactly.
Schneider is a carrot.
Exactly. Yeah.
PG-13.
Well, I've got a mate who I lived with at uni who's this sort of 6'2" Icelandic dude, and we used to be obsessed with South Park, and he saw Rob Schneider out, I can't remember where he was now, somewhere, and my mate was pissed and was just going up to him going, Rob Schneider is the stapler. Just so fucking... Apparently he was getting so pissed off. As you would.
Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider is derp.
So-
Rated PG-13.
So good.
Nice. All right, so you want to get back to
Yeah.
the...